Have you ever felt that life is moving too fast? That the world demands more than you can give, and yet gives nothing in return? That sense of being adrift, of losing yourself in endless noise and distractions, it is not new, it is ancient. Long before emails, deadlines, and notifications, monks sat quietly under the shade of trees. By rivers and in caves, observing life in ways that modern society has forgotten, they understood something simple yet profound. Life is not about chasing everything. It's about understanding what truly matters. Imagine for a moment a world stripped of its chaos, where time stretches like a slow river, where every breath is an invitation to awaken. This is not fantasy. This is the wisdom that the ancients practiced. And it's a treasure chest waiting for you to open. They teach us that the answers we seek externally already exist within us. Yet modern life has taught us to look outside, to fill ourselves with noise, objects, and endless movement instead of silence, reflection, and understanding. Consider this: if you could step back from the rush just for a moment, would you see what truly drives you? Would you see what you are avoiding? Monks teach us that failure, fear, anger, and even desire are not enemies. They are messages, guides, signposts that lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves. Imagine a tree in the middle of a storm. The winds rage, the rain lashes, yet the tree stands rooted. Its branches sway, its leaves fall, yet its core remains. That tree is like the human spirit when grounded in awareness. Modern life makes us feel uprooted, blown about by circumstance. But ancient wisdom shows that roots are not physical. They are within. Every moment you spend reacting to life, rushing toward the next thing, ignoring the stillness, is a moment you trade away the understanding that could save you. Monks would rise before dawn, sit in silence, and ask themselves questions that seem almost too simple to matter. What is this moment asking of me? What do I cling to and why? What illusions am I holding as truth? These questions repeated daily act as a mirror. And here is the twist most people miss. The answers are not found in logic or planning. They are found in presence, in awareness, in the way your mind touches the moment without judgment. Modern life has convinced us that productivity is the highest virtue, that achievement is the measure of worth. But imagine a monk watching the sunrise, feeling the cold air on his skin, listening to the birds, without thinking of what he must do next. To the monk, this is life fully lived. The lesson here is shocking in its simplicity. Achievement is not the opposite of peace. It is irrelevant to it. Peace is not something you earn. It is something you uncover when you stop running. Now consider this: every time you check your phone compulsively, every time you scroll through an endless feed, what are you really seeking? The monks would call it external hunger, a craving for validation, distraction, and temporary comfort. They teach that real nourishment comes from turning inward, from listening to the subtle rhythms of your own heart and mind. And yet, this does not mean withdrawing from life entirely. Monks did not escape the world. They observed it, understood it, and moved through it with clarity. Imagine a lake at dawn, its surface smooth like glass. A pebble drops into it, creating ripples. These ripples are life's challenges. The lake does not fight the pebble. It does not resist the waves. It simply allows them, observes them, and eventually stillness returns. This is the elegance of ancient wisdom, to accept life's disturbances without losing your core. Modern society, in contrast, teaches resistance. It tells you to control, to dominate, to force outcomes. And yet, the more you struggle, the further you drift from yourself. Monks would tell you, suffering comes not from the storm, but from resisting the storm. And here lies a profound paradox. By letting go of control, you gain it in ways that the frantic chase never provides. Imagine the small flame of a candle. If you blow aggressively to make it burn brighter, it flickers and dies. If you shelter it, if you breathe gently around it, it grows steady and strong. Your mind is that flame. Attention, care, and subtle awareness, not force, nurture it. Monks cultivated this through rituals, meditation, and simplicity. But the lesson is universal. Whatever your life looks like, wherever you are, you can practice this inner discipline. It is available to anyone willing to pause. Pause. Listen. Observe. Your own thoughts are not enemies. They are messengers. Your fears are not punishments. They are signals. Your desires are not weaknesses. They are guides. And yet modern life seduces us into ignoring these messages, replacing them with busyness, distractions, and compulsive seeking. What if the greatest act of courage in your life was to simply sit in your own presence? To watch your mind without judgment, to confront your inner storms, to see clearly what has been hidden beneath the surface? Monks understood this. And here is another twist. Clarity is not a reward, it is a practice. It is built brick by brick through observation, discipline, and gentleness toward oneself. They teach that the ego, the incessant I that drives ambition and fear, is not something to destroy. It is something to understand. To see it as a construct, like a river's reflection on water. Real, yet not fixed, changing with the flow of life. Imagine looking into a pond. You see the reflection of the sky. Clouds move, winds blow, and yet the water remains. Your sense of self, when anchored in awareness, is the water. Everything else, the clouds, the storms, the reflections, are transient. Modern life confuses the reflection for reality, and in this confusion we suffer. Monks teach detachment not as indifference, but as clarity. To be unattached is to see the world without distortion. To engage fully yet without losing oneself. They teach that happiness is not a pursuit. It is a byproduct of understanding. Imagine a bird learning to fly. It does not demand flight from the sky. It simply stretches its wings, trusts its strength, and begins to soar. Life, too, is about learning to fly, not about clinging to the ground. And here's the question to ask yourself today. What have you been clinging to that prevents you from soaring? What habits, thoughts, fears, or attachments are keeping you grounded in ways you no longer need? Monks ask these questions daily, not as abstract exercises, but as a means to awaken. And in awakening, they find freedom. Freedom is not the absence of difficulty. It is the mastery of perspective. Imagine walking through a storm with an umbrella. The rain falls, the wind lashes, yet you remain dry because you chose wisely how to engage with the world. This is the essence of ancient wisdom. Not control over the storm, but mastery of your own response. Modern life has taught us to fight, to panic, to overreact. But consider this, when the monk encounters suffering, he does not resist it. He observes, feels, and allows life to teach. And through this, he becomes resilient, not through strength of muscle, but through strength of mind. Every time you react without awareness, you give away power. Every time you pause, breathe, and observe, you reclaim it. Monks also understood the power of impermanence. Everything changes, everything passes, everything is in motion. The leaf falls, the river flows, the body ages, and yet consciousness remains witnessing. To hold tightly is to suffer. To embrace change is to flow. Imagine holding water in your hand. Grip too tightly, and it slips through your fingers. Hold lightly, and it nourishes. Life is that water. Modern life conditions us to resist change, to fear loss, to crave permanence. But ancient wisdom teaches that permanence is an illusion. Peace comes from dancing with impermanence, not opposing it. Solitude is not loneliness. Silence is not emptiness. When monks sit alone, they are not deprived. They are enriched. They are listening to the universe within and without. Modern humans fear solitude because they have not learned to converse with themselves. They fear silence because it reveals what they have been avoiding. Yet within that silence lies clarity, power, and creativity. Every innovation, every insight, every profound understanding begins in this space of quiet reflection. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal must be heated, hammered, shaped, and cooled. Only through patience, pressure, and observation does it become strong. Your mind, your spirit, your character, these two require the same careful forging. Monks understood this. They did not rush. They did not seek applause. They sought mastery of self. And here is the final lesson. The world may not reward this practice. It may call it impractical, irrelevant, or slow. But the monk knows the truth. The deepest satisfaction comes not from external approval, but from the alignment of life with inner understanding. This is the wisdom that modern life has forgotten, that peace, clarity, resilience, and freedom are cultivated, not achieved. They are discovered in the spaces we avoid, the questions we fear, the silence we resist. Today, I invite you to take one small step toward this forgotten wisdom. Pause, breathe, ask yourself one question. What am I holding onto that is not serving me? Watch what arises. Notice without judgment. Observe without rushing. And understand that in these small acts you are reconnecting with something vast, ancient, and profound. You are reclaiming the part of humanity that modern life has obscured. The ability to see clearly, to feel deeply, and to live fully. Life is not a race. Life is not a series of checkboxes or accomplishments. Life is a river. And the question is, will you swim with it consciously or drift unaware? The answer is yours. The tools are simple, yet transformative. Presence, observation, awareness, patience, and compassion. As you move through this day, watch the small moments. Watch how you react, how you judge, how you cling, how you resist. In those moments lies your teacher, your mirror, your guide. And remember, freedom is not far away. It is here in your own mind, waiting for you to notice, to pause, to choose. The ancients have left us a map, written not in words, but in practice, in presence, in awareness. Follow it and you will find a life that is not dictated by chaos, but illuminated by understanding. A life that is not distracted, but awake. A life that is not fleeting, but deeply rooted. And now, take this wisdom into your own world. Let it inform your decisions, your reactions, your relationships. Let it remind you that you are not merely surviving. You are capable of living fully, of experiencing deeply, of seeing clearly. Ancient monks lived centuries ago, yet their insights are timeless. They teach us not to fear, not to cling, not to resist, and not to seek outside what already exists within. And as you walk forward, remember, the path is not outside of you. The path has always been within. And the beauty of it is that each step you take, however small, is a step toward freedom, clarity, and peace. So pause now, reflect. Let this wisdom sink into your consciousness. Let it ripple through your day like water through stones, like sunlight through leaves, like wind through tall grass. And then act with awareness, with presence, with courage, and share this journey. Share your reflections in the comments below. Let this conversation grow. If this message resonated like this video, subscribe to Echoes of Greatness and join a community committed to living deeply, thinking profoundly, and awakening together. The wisdom is ancient, yet it has the power to transform your modern life. Let it begin today.